Dad ended up transitioning from the weed to the coke,
Right.
and then he ended up moving guns for Noriega.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Your
it was
father
kinda big.
moved guns for Noriega.
Yeah, we had the property. Noriega wanted it, and my dad didn't want to give it up. Yeah, Noriega definitely shot it up every chance he got, and he shot it up very often. Ends up getting caught selling to an undercover. Then he ends up getting extradited from Panama to the U.S. Definitely getting whammed here.
Is it like the late 80s already?
Yeah, 90s, I think, also.
Oh my god, yeah.
80s,
People were
90s,
getting destroyed
yeah.
already.
FBI, open up! The FBI swarming a Miami house and taking a man into custody.
So say goodnight to the bad guy.
The agency says the 28-year-old was picked up after the grand jury indicted him in 5
Vivian Gomez, welcome to Honor Among Thieves.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Gave
you
my
for
whole
coming.
government. It's all good.
I to say I've been looking forward to this is an understatement.
Me too.
We've been
Me too. It's been a long time coming.
yeah, we've rescheduled this more times than I've had birthdays, but you know, it's all good.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
Also,
Listen, I go with the flow. I know how life is. You know, you got kids, you got this, you got that. It's all good.
life.
I get it.
Life.
Tax season. I know that's your profession, so
So,
must keep you busy.
yeah, definitely busy. Definitely busy. Also, interesting.
Super random fact. If I ever have a daughter, I did want to name her Vivian.
really?
Really random.
That's that name, my dad picked it
It's a beautiful name.
when my mom was pregnant, and my mom was like, "Who's Vivian that you're trying to name her?" And my dad was just stuck with that name. He was stuck.
Yeah, it's very, very elegant. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it before, but I like it
You
now.
like it now.
When I was a kid, I hated it. I wanted to be Jessica or something.
Jessica, like
Something like that everybody
every
had.
other girl in Miami.
Yeah, no, I didn't think how
Bro, you wanted to be a Yesenia
how
Gomez like
super
everybody else?
ill. No, definitely not. But yeah, I definitely like it now.
Cool.
It's pretty classy.
So Vivian, you have quite the story. There's many things I hope to touch up on in these next 2 hours. You know, starting with family ties and stuff you've went through recently with, you know, your significant other. Many layers, many interesting parts.
A
So
lot of layers.
you're the first. Are you the first? I would have to say you're the first Miami native, like my contemporary. Like this, we're the same generation. So this is gonna be cool.
Cool.
We're gonna relate on a lot of
Cool.
things.
Cool.
I don't
Just-
think, because I feel like I'm talking to like one of my friends, you know, like
Yeah.
from Miami.
Yeah.
Because originally the idea of this podcast was to bring original stories from Miami, right?
Right.
But it just one thing led to another, and I've had people from all over the country, which I'm grateful
It's a
for.
blessing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a blessing.
So, but yeah, this is the first time I've had like another Cuban from my generation. So this is gonna be cool,
This is up.
definitely. So Vivian, you were born and raised in Miami.
Born and raised.
Mm.
Born and raised.
Cuban on both sides of your family.
Cuban on both sides.
How'd your parents get here?
My mom got here when she was, I don't know, maybe like 8, 9. And then my dad came later on. I think he came, if I'm not mistaken, he came through the Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Oh, so your parents are like old school. They came before the Mariel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
so
my dad was 14 years older than my mom. So
Oh, okay. No, but
Real
your parents are
player.
like were the classy Cubans.
yeah,
You know, my mom came in the boat lift. She used Tony Montana. You know?
thugged out.
My dad came in the
Thugged
80s.
out.
Yeah, the Cubans that came in the 80s were like another.
It's
Another world.
you know, people evolve.
Yeah,
Definitely
sure.
evolve.
Peter Pan. Explain. I
I
haven't.
have no idea.
You don't know what that
honestly.
is?
I mean, I do,
I know
but like I don't.
the kids.
Like,
No, but that was the kids that left Cuba by themselves without their parents, right? I'm pretty sure. If I
I
don't,
have no idea. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's what that
I'm
was.
not sure.
But yeah, and it
I'm
was
not
like
really
in the
sure.
70s, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what were your parents as
My
people?
mom's probably gonna say
Like-
this, but she's full of shit. I never came on the Peter Pan. I really don't know. I think
It's
he
all good.
did though. That's for, to my memory. That's what it was.
They definitely came way before the 80s.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Okay.
way before. My mom
Alright.
went to Miami High.
All that.
Yeah, my dad was out here. He was older, so he was.
What kind of people were they? Like, or
Um,
are they?
So my mom was always like a real graceful, bad bitch. She was freaking beautiful. She is beautiful and body crazy. And then she was raised by just an older, like my grandma was born in 1929. So this is like this is like the Batista era.
This is 30 years before the Cuban Revolution.
This is before, right? So my mom was born in 58, so it was like before.
That generation was so elegant, bro.
It was beautiful. Like Cuba was the Paris of the Caribbean.
So I was raised by my great grandmother and my grandparents and all my uncles and aunts, all their brothers. So I was raised by that generation that before the Cuban Revolution.
Right.
And like their swagger and the way they are and like
it's different.
It's
different. The upbringing that you get from them, the respect that you learn. And I'm very grateful because, I'm still me, and I have my moments, and when I'm alone or, with my friends, you could be more relaxed, but when you're outside, you walk with that grace and that poise, and that's really cool. I really give that to my grandma. She really did her big one with that.
Cuban grandparents.
She definitely kept us in line.
They're the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
She was also super gangster too, so.
Yeah, that generation
helps.
didn't play.
Yeah,
for sure. So, but did your parents have you young? Were they like what? How old were they? They were like teenagers or what? They were adults already?
No, my mom was an adult already. My mom had my older sister when she was younger, and then my sister was already older when we were born, so she was a little older, maybe like somewhere in her 20s.
Okay, and you said your dad was 14 years older than your mom.
Older.
Okay, what kind of person was your dad?
Again, very smooth, very cool. There's literally stories of people coming to try to ask questions like, where's this and where's that? And he's just so smooth. He'll just turn it all around in his favor. So it's really talked about still. He's they called him Lázaro Muela.
Oh, okay.
That's literally what it was.
All right. Was your father on the street at all?
Yeah.
He was.
Like on the street?
Like on the street.
Yeah, he was outside.
I mean, this is Honor Among Thieves.
He was he was outside, of course. He was definitely outside. He started
did he dabble in it, or was that was his element?
Oh no, that was his element.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely the element. He started off like everything. It's not, you can't just think like, okay, how did it all start when you think of like small, history, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it didn't just start with like a whole cocaine era. No, it started with weed. You know what I mean? So before the cocaine era and before the crack in the 80s and all of that, it started off with some weed, and it was that regs. It was like, the Cubans would call it con semilla, sin semilla. If you had seeds or didn't have seeds,
Bro.
And it was literally like bricks and bricks and bricks of weed. So.
I just finished watching Narcos Mexico, like for the first time ever, and then the whole sin semilla, all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah? I haven't seen it. I gotta see. I've always tried to watch it,
it's so good. Oh.
I never get too far. I don't have time.
I got you.
I want to see it though.
So he moved a lot of bud.
Yeah.
This is 70s or the 80s?
I don't really know. Maybe like
before you were born.
Like late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
All right. But even back then, once the cocaine era started, like weed was like whatever. Even back then, and back then, marijuana still kind of had that bad like stigma.
Yeah.
But I think the cocaine era was so rampant that
I feel like that's why they say marijuana is the gateway drug. It really isn't. You know what I mean? Like if you're smoking weed, it's not like you're gonna smoke some weed and just go straight to crack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But definitely, I think that's why, because that's how, that's just how the business was. You know what I mean? Like you started off with the weed, and then then the cocaine comes, and it's a bigger payout. So that's a no-brainer. You already know the routes. You already know what you're doing. So you already feel like you could do it. You know what I mean? So it was very easy, I think, for them in that time to just transition.
For sure. Yep. Was he still in the game when you were born?
Yes. He was definitely trying to establish a different, we in Miami, we had plenty houses. I grew up right by Cocaine Alley. So if you know Cocaine Alley. he definitely had his change. He had some money, but he started trying to transition. He went to Costa Rica first, with my mom, and they started looking for different properties. They ended up in Panama, and he fell in love with Panama big time. He loves everything, the water, the people, definitely the women, because he was definitely a player. But yeah, and then we ended up buying property my parents ended up buying property in Panama. So they had one big old house in Altos del Gulf. That's like the Coco Plum of Panama. And that's where Noriega lived.
That was about to say, Panama's like a cocaine trafficker's dream.
Yeah.
You know?
It was. And then he got another property that was off of the main road that brings you to the US, La Carretera Interamericana. So the property was literally on both sides. So one side was like ocean at the end of it, and then the other side was like farm. It was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, then that's when a different era started with Panama. Because
Was Noriega he was still around? Was he
yeah,
still in Panama?
my dad ended up transitioning from the weed to the coke,
Right.
and then he ended up moving guns for Noriega.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This just made my night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Your
it was kinda
father
big.
moved guns for Noriega.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It was definitely interesting.
Was your father in the whole Iran Contra thing? No, just with Noriega.
With the what?
Never.
No,
No.
absolutely not. No, he yeah, so when he started doing that with Noriega, it was definitely I was very
Little.
I was
Right.
little, so I've heard the stories from like my cousins and their mom, and I was almost born in Panama. My cousin's mom had to come with like a shot for my mom, so she flew in, and just to like, there was just always people,
Right.
just helping each other, and like it was a big circle. But my dad and his best friend, which is my tío Pucci, and Pucci passed away just recently. So I was like hesitant saying his name, but no, he just passed away. Thank you. And yeah, so they were definitely living out there.
I would assume so.
So yeah, after a while, I mean the way that we bought property in Panama, because in that time you couldn't buy property unless you were a Panamanian resident, right? So my dad had a gentleman who was very close friends with, and he was buying the properties, under his, like he would buy it, and then the person who had like the deeds in their hands was the owner. So yeah, we had the property, and the one that was on the main road, Noriega wanted it. And at that point he wanted it, and my dad didn't want to give it up. And yeah, Noriega definitely shot it up every chance he got.
He shot up the house.
He would shoot up the farm. It was like the farm on the main road.
Wow.
And he shot it up like very often until my dad was like, you know what, just take it.
Just take that.
I was like, fuck that, I'm good.
But that's crazy. Didn't your dad do like business with him?
He did, but after a while, it's like when you have so much power, it's like you're
do
gonna
whatever you want,
you're gonna you know what I mean, and you're gonna want people to do or like bend over backwards, or
to
you know
do
what I mean. Like
whatever,
I don't know what the details are, but I know that that's just law.
It's
you know what I mean?
It's a classic thing in every movie you see. Like you see the guy starts off as a good guy,
Yeah.
and then little by little he gets a little more power and a little more power, and by the end of the
Right.
movie you're just like, man,
Right.
this guy's an asshole. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's how, I mean, whether it's Noriega, whether it's Pablo, whether it's any of the Mexicans, Amalo or whatever, any of those, like, it's the story's always the same. You see them and you kind of like them in the movie or the story, and towards the end of them, you don't even recognize them. They're a whole other person, you know?
Like we said earlier, like people definitely evolve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And transition. And when you start off anywhere, like you start off humble, you're grateful to the people who put you on, and but then ego
Takes over.
Yep. The spirit, so you can't really make the best decisions, or decisions that are with a clean heart, or so you end up definitely evolving into something else.
So your dad gives up this house.
So yeah, my dad gives up the house, and then it just so happened
did that strain his relationship with Noriega? Like his business ties, or can he kind of just wrote it off?
I don't really know, because after that it was like just snowball effect of different things. So after that, so my parents would always come in and out so that they can keep their, you couldn't be out. I don't know how many months it is before you got to come back and into the U.S.
Yeah, if they were U.S. residents, if I'm not mistaken, you can only be out for a maximum of 6 months.
6 months, right?
And then you have to come back for a little while, and then you can leave again.
Right. So, they were constantly back and forth. And there
was the plan to live in Panama full time at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was the dream. Yeah, we have.
Did you like it?
I can't remember it.
You can't remember much?
But I mean, just knowing that he literally built that for me, for my brothers and my sisters, you know what I mean? And like, Panama's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous
So
country.
It's like.
But look, let me tell you, Panama in the 80s though must have been like on another level.
Must have been beautiful.
Yeah,
I've heard my cousin went recently, and she was like, "This is not the Panama we remember."
Of course.
But yeah, that happens anywhere, But yeah, so after that, my parents came back, and in the process of coming back, my dad ends up in the hospital for some reason, and then when they go back to Panama, the house was being taken care of by some lawyers that they were all friends with. So the person that we bought the house under their name ends up getting caught selling to an undercover.
Selling drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he ends up getting extradited from Panama to the U.S. Definitely getting whammed here of going through the whole appeal process.
Is it like the late 80s already?
Yeah, 90s, I think, also.
Oh, my God.
80s,
yeah, people
90s,
were getting destroyed already.
Yeah,
forget about it.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, but...
Once, like, 86 rolled around, everybody got... Bro, it was over.
Yeah. Yeah. So after...
He gets extradited.
Yeah, he gets extradited. So I guess the people that were in the government, and if you know Panama, you know the government, just like any government. But the people that were taking care of the house were attorneys, so they were, involved. They saw that this person was extradited, and they came and, took over the house as well, the house in Alto del Gulf. So we kind of were just in a standstill, you know what I mean? Like, there was really not too much play with, stuff that has to do with the government. Like, you know what I mean? You're clearly outnumbered. Yeah, and they're dirty, so... But that was definitely his dream. And after that, shortly after, my dad passes.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, so he definitely tried to build this thing, and definitely being in the game got him to do that. And it was some big boy stuff, because, I mean, the Balboas are the same as U.S. dollar, really. So, yeah, it was like he didn't want to go somewhere where it was like, you had a little change, and then you go to another country, you're rich. You know what I mean? Like, he was really,
If you had, I know you were little and you don't remember, but if you had to guess, like, how wealthy was your father?
Oh, he was pretty wealthy. I can't really give you a number, but he was very discreet with it too, which was so raw. Like, he wasn't out here riding around in a
the way everybody should do it. Right?
Like, my mom had the big cars and the jewelry, the big diamonds. My mom has a closet full of Oscar de la Renta dresses to this day. She has a 6-foot hand painted portrait. Like, it was some big boy money.
Like that, like the Scarface thing.
I will
like
show you.
In the
I'll
entrance
text
of the house.
Wait till I get back over there. I will text it to you. It's
wow.
It's definitely.
Whenever I think of that, the first thing I think of is Elvira. You know how she was.
That's exactly how it is. And she has like this thing, and she's holding like this dress, and there's like trees in the background. They painted. Wow. It was like all hand painted. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Awesome. It's definitely. We crack jokes about it, but that was definitely some big boy stuff.
If your father doesn't pass away, what do you think would have happened? Like, how different would your life be? What would he have ended up doing? Like, what?
I mean, realistically, just, I feel like at some point everybody goes to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know where it would have gone, but
he probably would have ended up in
you're
prison.
either dead or in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to, you want to act like that's not a real thing. You know what I'm saying? But like in the back of your mind, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And like back then, it was easier to do stuff, because they'd be out there with con las lanchas, which are the smaller, fast little boats to go run off and grab a pack and come back. But, now it's very different. They had like codes and like CB radios everywhere.
And also, like, to make a statement, the U.S. government tore apart, like, so again, it's crazy that we're talking about this story because I just finished watching Narcos and Narcos Mexico. So I have the whole timeline fresh in my head. At least some of it was bullshit in the show because I'm like a connoisseur of this whole thing. But anyway, so it's crazy because anything, I'm 1,000%, they tore apart anything that had to do with the cocaine trade, right? So Noriega, they made an example out of him. They went into his own country and then we're like, yo, you gotta understand when the
government, if the government isn't making money off of your sales,
for sure,
you're going to jail.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're not okay with that. Yeah. So they're definitely at some point, they know who's making because they're doing it too.
So how it all ended for Noriega and the whole cocaine trade, at least everybody involved in that era, for sure. I mean, your dad was in the gun running business, but still he had ties with Noriega.
Yeah.
So anybody who had ties, legal, illegal, whatever, I'm sure they made an example out of every single person. So.
They
so
really did.
He probably would have ended up in prison. It's true.
Yeah.
He when you think of your father, what do you like? The image of your father, like personality and kind of like that kind of stuff. What comes to mind?
I just when I think of it's not just because he was that person to everyone, because it's not something that you just. Because a kid is always going to remember their parents and their life a certain way, and maybe not really see it for what it is. But my dad was just raw. I don't know. Like, that was my dad. And I loved him so much. And he was just like a real cool, like smooth. I don't know. It was just everything about him. Everything about him. He also had this business that was, it was called Cuban. So he was like an import-export for fish. And it's so funny. I remember going to the office and expecting to see people working, you know what I mean? And that, the office was empty, and, he would just like, it was just literally like he gave me a desk and he like, you know what I mean? It was just like, everything was for me. And it's cool that I do have memories that he would take me, for all I know, you know what I mean? My mom was probably like, take her, like, you know what I mean? Take her for the day or whatever. But he definitely rode me around everywhere. Everywhere he would, everywhere that I was able to go, he would definitely bring me. So that spoke volumes to me. Like, he was. You think
your dad would have done my podcast if he was alive?
Absolutely not.
Old school, huh?
Real gangster.
Real old school.
Real gangster.
And those are the guys I want the most.
And the only reason why I'm here is because he did. Hello.
No, I know. You know what I'm saying? I know, but those are, and those guys have the best stories, and they're,
And there's just so much that's just there's some good stories.
I would have been friends with your dad, I'll tell you that much.
Some good stories. Yep.
Seems like my kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
my grandma too. She was.
Yeah, she sounds like a real gangster too.
Yeah, my grandma had a restaurant. I can't remember. I think it was like on 27, somewhere like by Alapata. But I'm here thinking my grandma's just my lovely little old grandma. That she was just real stern, but real, old school. And come to find out years later, everybody's like, your grandma. I'm like, yeah. Like, your grandma was the plug for the airplanes. You needed a plane, you call your grandma. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, crazy. My grandma? So she
facilitated transportation.
Everybody.
For the narcotics trade. That's great.
And it's crazy because wherever her little store, market, restaurant was, it was at the rise of a lot of men making their way in this city for, their avenue in the career. So, she was opening tabs for people, and just, they would come and be like, oh, put the cigarettes on there, they ain't got no money. And then, slowly, next thing you know, they're pulling up with big Cadillacs, and like, some money. So, it was like cool. She was definitely there for a lot of people. So she got a lot of respect in the street too.
That's
for
dope.
her era, which is beautiful.
What year did your father pass away?
I think he passed in 94, maybe.
How old were you?
I was little. Are we gonna take my age out?
No, it's all right. I'm not gonna make you say your age.
I'm just talking to you. No, I was little. I was probably like I don't know, maybe like 5, 6. When I was little.
How did he died because of health reasons?
Yeah, my dad ended up with a aneurysm. So he got an aneurysm, and it was kind of really fast after that.
Did you remember a drastic difference in life after he passes away?
100%.
What do you feel like? What do you remember of how different life was?
I mean, I just feel like it was definitely like, it was different in the sense that you could tell, like, there wasn't the same amount of, funds or whatever. But at the same time, it was a lot of separation because we always had like people in our house. It was always a lot of people. And,
once the money started coming
and
around.
it's just like anything, like you die or you go to jail. Everybody's there when shit popping.
Yeah. But when things are
bad, when stuff gets turned upside down, the people who are still there are people who, are gonna forever be there. So it kind of was eye-opening for sure. And then you have, of course, my mom is like, no, nothing, what I'm saying? Like, people were here. And, shortly after, it's like, that motherfucker hasn't come back. He hasn't checked up on anybody. Like, so it definitely turned into just more reality, and kind of like dealing with actual life in a different light.
How did you personally react to it, and how did it affect how you behaved in life moving forward?
I feel like it definitely has an impact in some way. Where down the line did it mold me, into the life that I've had? I have no idea, but definitely the pain of not having your dad is like your everything. It's like what a mom is to a boy. You know what I mean? So definitely that makes things, a little different. But then again, like, how different would I be if he was there? You know what I mean? Like, what would life have been if he was there? What kind of things would I be trying to get away with? Or like, try to pull stunts and make everybody, like, that's just how it is when you're like the kid of, something. You kind of try to run shit behind your parents or whatever, not like drug deals, but like, just getting into trouble. Yeah.
So after he passes away, what kind of kid are you? Like, going to school and growing up, like what were you into? Were you a badass kid? Were you a normal kid? Like,
no, I was rebellious, but all my brothers and sisters are older. Like my brother, I have one brother that was like right before me. He was like maybe like a year older than me. But then my sister was like a lot older. My brothers were a lot older. Like, my brothers now are like 50.
You're the youngest of what? How many siblings?
So my dad had it's like 8 of us.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I told you my dad was a player. He was out here.
Different moms?
Yeah. So my mom had my older sister. And so my mom had my older sister. She gets with my dad, has my brother, and then has me. And then later down the line, after my dad passes or whatnot, she has 2 more girls. But my dad had 3 boys before my brother. So each of them technically have 5 kids. But like together, if we count them all together, it's 8.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of us.
But
they were all older, So when you're older like that, like, you're not really around the younger ones because you're outside doing your own thing.
Right.
Right. Getting into your own trouble and, making your own way too. So, it's it was just different. But I definitely saw my sister. I saw my brother, my brothers, around, and it was always on some gangster shit too. So it was like different. It's definitely
It
different.
runs in the blood.
It's just Miami. I honestly, it's like either you are or you're not. But like it's, you know what I mean. Like it's
I think Miami
a percentage is big.
Miami for sure plays a part in it, but if it's not in you, it's not in you. Alrighty, guys, taking a quick break from the podcast to hear a word from our sponsor, and that is NordVPN. Nowadays, guys, as you know, data is currency. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, any of these bigwig tech companies, they're all after your data. And they're not the only ones after your data. As someone who used to be pretty well versed in the world of fraud, your data and your information is more vulnerable than ever. You want to stay safe. You want to make sure no one has access to it, and no one can spy on you to see what you're doing on your devices. Guys, it's more important than ever to have a VPN. If you sign up for NordVPN through Honor Among Thieves Podcast, you'll get introductory rates only available through our link. Make sure to click on the link in the description below. Whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, or anywhere else, the link should be in the description. Go ahead and click on it and get started. Now back to the podcast. Like, I'll give you an example. Me personally, ironically, I ended up in prison, right? But in my own way. Not like... I have notorious family members that were on the street. And I was very, like, repulsed by it for some reason. I guess it was maybe witnessing them go to prison and miss out on their family's lives. And, like, yeah, I had, like, this weird... like kind of like idealistic thing going on with like guys on the street, but at the same time I knew that the consequences far outweighed whatever I liked.
Well, I mean, culturally too, like I not only was I a girl, so I was like
True.
very far away from
All that
anything, and definitely like, not knowing anything until, you start putting two and two together, and and then you start realizing, like I used to play with like, I used to think I was like play with like cash register and get like cans and stuff and like try to like, and I would weigh the fruits on things that I didn't even know what they were until I got older. You're in your first, not your first trap house, but you're in a trap house and you're like, oh my God, you're like, I used to play with that, but you're like real quiet about it. Like, you didn't say it, but like, oh shit, I really used to weigh apples. Playing cash register on a triple beam. Is that what that is? Like,
that's crazy.
But, it's not because your parents ever, like, your parents are always going to shelter you and keep you far away from that. Because, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it was more open then because it was harder to go to jail. People had a longer run.
For sure. Those
like
don't exist
today?
No.
Don't try it today. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely they keep you away from it. And, it's not something to it was really a survival thing coming here from another country and, stumbling across, a Colombian or, somebody that's like, hey, or you're bringing in the weed and you already got a little name for yourself. So now somebody else says, hey, this dude, and now they come and, you know what I mean? Because that's really how it was for my dad. But, not because it was like, something, it's never been something cool or something, you know what I mean? Like, I guess the lifestyle is cool, but, the money, the women, the jewelry, whatever.
All the vain things that humans are attracted to.
Right. Yeah. But just because naturally, like, you know what I mean? We want to enjoy life. That's what we were put here to do, is to enjoy life.
For sure.
Not just slave and be in traffic all day. And, You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely just, people trying to survive.
For sure.
Survive and enjoy themselves at the same time and have luxuries. And
so for you, growing up in Miami, this is like the late 90s, right? More or less.
Mm-hmm.
What were you, tell me a little bit about kind of like your like middle school and all that. Like what are you doing?
Middle school is just, you're being a kid. So you definitely got into a lot of different, troubles, right? But this was definitely, 98. So there was everybody made their own little gang. So like everywhere you were in Miami, there was stuff going on. You could be at a red light and somebody could be trying to ask you for your phone, or you know what I mean. Like Miami was very different.
The 90s
at that
was,
time.
Yeah, for sure. The whole with the Wilos and the Latin Kings and all that stuff.
It's just a lot of gangs, and even not even that. Like everybody, a group of 6 people. That's it. They made their own gang.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You couldn't go to church on a Wednesday because it was gang youth group. Like kids trying to get out the gang. Like it was crazy. It was definitely different. And I can't even imagine how it looks from like the eyes of like the older crew. You know, like my sister was, you know, a generation older than me, but she was trouble too. So, I really looked up to her though, but she was something else, beautiful. But at the same time, you know, it's like, you know, clearly it was different, you know, in the early 90s, late 80s. There was a lot of race wars and stuff like that going on. So then you get to like, well, I'm just seeing my generation through my eyes for the first time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, this is like literally it's, you know, back in what was this, Midway over there? What was that mall over there? Mall of the Americas.
Yeah. Well, now they just changed it back. It's called Midway again now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ironic.
You're talking about when I had that thing, that Malibu thing in the back with the go-karts.
Oh my God. And then shortly after 2000, the rave parties that were in there and like everything, I was like, you know, Miami was different. Miami's definitely not like any other city.
No. Most definitely not.
Not like any other. You can't clone Miami.
Did you date any of like the gang guys? Was that like a thing? Not really?
No.
You stayed away from all that?
No, I was very much around, but I've always been one of the guys.
Okay. That makes sense.
I was always one of the guys. I was always respected. Little sis.
It's a good position to have, for sure. So
I think my, you know, the things that I've, you know, my upbringing, my sisters, my brothers, because that definitely.
Since they were a lot older, they kind of always protected you?
Like my sister would beat up hoes for being hoes. It was a different era for real. It was.
So
you had to have cara. You had to have some type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure,
it's definitely different.
Okay, so for the most part, no one really mess with you in that kind of environment.
No, we were. I mean, you know, you get into stuff as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely fights and stuff that happen, and you know, stupid shit. But that's just normal. Childhood. Those are your rites of passage. You know, as a child, like if you don't live that, you know what I mean? Like,
right, of course.
Boring. Do it over. But
growing up as a kid, and obviously growing up in the time that we did, were you ever curious about like, should I dip into this world, or what is it always like? Oh, that's not for me.
It was just natural. Miami is wide open. Like it was just natural. And at that age, when you're like, you know, it's, you know, 98, 99, you got just the music alone was different. You know what I mean? It's not the bullshit that's on the radio now. So it was definitely very natural for you to just be that, you know? And in this city, it was definitely just a normal thing. You know, not that I was, you know, gang, but you know what I mean? It was just very natural, like in Miami. It's just, you know, somebody that's thugging, you know, somebody that's selling, you know, somebody that's, you know, everything. It's natural.
Did you ever see, as a kid, like in that era, get caught up in the middle of something crazy? Or did you ever see anything wild that was just like, whoa?
Many times. Yeah. And I don't even know how, you know, I was always good, you know, and I don't know, maybe it was my dad as my age or something, because there were definitely times where I was like, whoa.
What's one that pops into your mind?
Just like different stuff, like just being somewhere, hanging out, everybody's cool, everybody's chilling, everybody's drinking, and the next thing you know, you hear gunshots, everybody's, you know, and everybody's, you know, like these are things that like just happen, and you're just like, whoa, like.
Did that happen more than once?
Yeah.
You got somebody watching out over you, girl.
No, I mean, they weren't shooting at me. Shit,
I know, but you were around it, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, it's different. Like when you're hanging out, you're hanging out. You know what I mean? So yeah, there was definitely things as a child that um I wouldn't want my daughter to be hanging out
Of course.
at, or hanging out with. Um, but yeah, I mean, all you can really do is just hope and pray that your kids, make the right decisions. I definitely could have gotten caught up in a lot of stupid shit as a child, and I'm very grateful that
That you didn't.
that I didn't.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I got arrested for like a little weed one time. Like I was like nothing,
Nothing crazy. Yeah.
nothing.
Never had a major run-in
Thank
with the law.
God.
Good.
Thank God.
All right. Well, getting into high school, kind of like becoming a young adult, what was life like? Like what was your idea of what you wanted to do?
I mean, the high school was just, whatever. I was there for a little bit, and then the principal was like, she needs to go to West Aid, or
Oh, you were one of those kids.
one of the yeah. I don't even know how, because I really didn't. Whatever. I
Maybe
really
because you
didn't.
skipped every class.
Possibly, possibly the reason why. But when they said that, my mom was like, hell no, she's not going to know the West Aid Institute. She was like, we're taking her out of school. She's gonna get her high school diploma. So I did that. And then I've it's been a long road. Definitely studied. I was in medical for a little bit. Stayed out of that because they pay trash. So transitioned to mortgage and mortgage, real estate and stuff like that. And that's kind of been, that's realistically, that's where there's good money, where you can, as long as you work hard, of course, but school was just school. Whatever. We were trying to hang out. We're kids. We were trying to hang out. We're trying to vibe.
You have 2 children?
I do.
Seth is the father of one of them, or both of them?
My daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah.
You have a son?
I have a son.
Okay. Was his father in the life at all? Or he was a square?
No, he's not a square either. But yeah, he dabs.
He dabbed, but he wasn't like 10 toes down. Got it.
No, I just don't,
Nah,
don't really talk about him much,
cool.
but
It's cool.
But no, he was he was around too.
Okay. So this kind of, I see a pattern here. You kind of have an archetype here.
It's just the city is hard. Everybody.
Bro,
and it's crazy because now knowing what I went through recently, I had this conversation with somebody the other day and I was like, man, I'm not trying to like ever be around no other situation where I could be involved in any type of shit like this, because it's crazy. So
I don't know what it is. I've never had so many options as far as my social life and dating as when I got out of prison. I swear to God.
Really?
Yes. I don't know what it was where women were, it was like, oh, you just got out. And it's like, yeah, I just got out.
That's crazy.
In my mind, I'm like, you think I'm attractive because I just got out?
You did a bid.
And I'm like, bro, okay.
It's definitely different. It's funny because when I met my daughter's father, I knew nothing of him. And that was one of my things. I used to be like, I don't know you from, like, I didn't know who you were. Like, and it's like a thing because literally, like, the amount of groupie love, or like whatever you want to call it, like it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's very real.
Because his first big case was like all over the news. It was like a super big deal.
Was it the Mali invasion?
Yeah.
And all that?
Yeah.
I have another friend that was actually, he got the tail. Well, he was still involved, and he ended up catching a Fed bid over the whole Mali invasion thing.
The same one, same case. Because there's been a couple different Mali stuff.
Yeah, actually, it came in waves. So
yeah.
I think my friend,
because whoever got jammed up the first time kept grabbing.
Yeah,
and it just trickled into them. Later on.
I think he was involved with the first wave.
Yeah.
Because his, I think something like that. But I had him on my podcast. My boy G, he did time with me, and yeah, it was funny because I asked him about that. You remember you sent me the whole article? Like you sent me, you were like, oh, yo. Well, one day you were like, oh, the Mali invasion, this. And then you sent me the thing.
Probably.
And I sent it to G and he was like, no, that's probably like later.
It's a different one, yeah.
I
think his was like the first one. And he was like number 3 on that indictment, like 2 or 3.
But that was a state case.
No, that was Fed.
Really?
Been a Fed baby from the beginning.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did Seth do time for the Molly invasion case?
He did. They were trying to give him like a bunch of enhancements and a bunch of stuff, so he was looking at a lot of time. I wasn't around for that, so I don't know too much, but I know he ended up serving 5 years. So he did 5 years up the road for that.
That was back in the day, so he did those 5.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
But he didn't, they didn't, it was like, I don't know, he didn't really have anything. Like the way that they caught him, it was just the main dude that was like snitching. And at that time, you know what I mean? Like he took responsibility, like, it is what it is, and did his time. He took his 5 on the chin, but he was looking at way more than that. And the judge at the end was like, the prosecutors and everybody's just trying to, voice why he should get all these enhancements. And the judge was like, you want to give this man enhancements to the city and cooperate and give him this many years?
They are, though. That's how they are.
Thankfully, that judge just gave him the 5.
Good.
That was definitely a blessing.
When did you meet him?
Right after that. Right after that.
So he was fresh out too?
Yeah.
What did I tell you? See what I mean? We
It's
smell
funny.
different when we get out. Like women are just like the pheromones are just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a
Maybe
picture.
so.
I'm gonna show you a picture of me. I've been hitting the gym so hard last week. Like I saw a picture of myself when I got out, and I almost shed a tear.
Because
I was like,
out here we have so much going on. Like
I know.
if you could really just focus all day and just really like fit,
For
like
real.
that's of course you're gonna
No,
come
but there's
out
guys in there who don't.
ripped.
They, it's a mindset. Like
I don't know what you're doing with your time
Playing
and how
dominoes,
fucked
talking
up you're
shit,
gonna come home. Like no,
know.
you could still find time to do play a little dominoes and talk a little
I know,
shit.
but
But I mean,
there's useless human beings on this planet, and a lot of
like
them are
I
in prison.
wouldn't be able to, be in a situation like that
In a confined space,
without
yeah, for
working
sure.
out.
You have
Like,
you have to work out to stay sane.
my mental
100%.
health. What I'm definitely working out. I'm coming out looking crazy, for real.
I used to work out 3 times a day. For real. I was, bro.
It's crazy. I've seen a lot of the videos. Like, oh my God, like Seth had us doing duck walks and all types of stuff. Like it was just some real jailhouse shit. But it's very effective workouts. But I have seen the videos of the guys in prison with like the bags of water.
Yeah. That was our bench press, our
the bags
squat.
of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we squat and do all that.
That's crazy.
We use
That's why I tell you,
sand.
people evolve.
In my prison we use sand. It was
Sands?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had sands?
Bags of
Where were
sand.
you?
Coleman camp.
Oh, isn't it on the same
Same compound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right next door. So we had a big track, right?
Yeah.
And the whole track is like kind of this rocky, shelly stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had a volleyball thing that had sand. So whenever the guys weren't looking, we would take like a little plastic container.
Volleyball thing has
We'd steal a plastic
sand.
container from the kitchen, fill it up with sand, put rocks in it, whatever. And then we'd get 2 broomsticks.
Volleyball court dry as hell. So you guys have all the sand. I bet it. I bet.
That's how we worked out.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
Sands.
Yep.
I mean, water's heavy too. Sand will definitely do it.
For sure. All right. So, how long are you and Seth together before this case happened?
So we weren't even together when this case happened, honestly. It was like it was like on and off thing, but it's very crazy how it even came about. We already had the baby. But there was like rocky stuff, just like any relationship. But yeah, he was definitely not, we were like on and off. So he was not even staying at the house or like, it was very much like, but we've always been cool, and it's my friend for real. So, yeah. And then recently with this thing, I was like, I had Seth stayed over that night. I had a friend of mine stay over also. We're just up late, hanging out, whatever. And then that's when everything went down. But it was crazy. I don't even know. I was very upset. I'm like, why the fuck are they here looking for him? But
Tell me about the night.
different. I mean, that night was really nothing. I mean, we're just watching TV, like, hanging out. He was definitely staying with the baby because I had to go do some stuff. And whatever, when I came back, it was like, everybody just watching a movie, everybody fell asleep, whatever, hanging out. Normal. Yeah, and then I get woken up. My other friend, it's like a family member. He was like, "Police are at the door," and I'm like, I'm literally wake up out my sleep when I hear that. And I remember now that he was talking for a little bit, and like I was like not really awake yet. But when I heard that, I jumped up, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, is this for real?" And I ran to the door and looked at the people, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I seen a robot.
A robot?
It was a robot.
Okay.
It looked like a tank, like the little. It was like literally a mini tank, and it had like I think what it was like one of those flashbangs or something.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
they did a couple of those at the door.
That's nuts.
I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I was really shocked. And my kids are there. That was terrible.
So you open the door, and what do they tell you? Like, why are they there? What happened?
Well, I literally, and the crazy thing is, I have two big ass dogs. My dogs weren't even barking. It was so weird. Like, but they literally, when I looked out the window and I saw the grenade thing, the robot, I was like, oh my god, let me grab my kids. So, I ran to my son's room. And right as I'm running to his door, he's opening the door. He's like, what? Like, what's going on? I thought they were gonna come in, so I didn't open the door. So I really thought they were like, you see in the movies,
ran
like
the door down. Yeah.
I'm thinking you coming in. It's like if you really got the warrant, like you're coming, like break. I thought they were breaking the door. So, turns out they weren't. And whatever, they started saying, they started calling Seth's name for him to come outside, and we're like, what the fuck? I was very, like, I was so confused. Yeah, and then whatever, Seth was like, I'm going outside. And he opens the door, and of course, it's everybody just walked out backwards. I wish, no, like looking back at it now, I probably would have liked, because you really don't know. Like people are always like, oh, what would you do in that situation? Like I've always been the person that says like, I don't know, because I don't know what I would do until I'm there. You know what I mean? I could say I'm gonna do this and do that, and really, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I wish I would have been like, give me the warrant, like, let me see it before you even came in the crib. But definitely didn't do that. I had my daughter and my son, yeah, they came. It was like crazy. It was like so many police.
Did they arrest Seth when he went outside?
They automatically put
handcuffs
on the men. On Seth and our other friend.
And then at that point, they came in the house?
So, yeah, they definitely came in the house. But they made we all came outside first. So, I'm literally...
What are they telling you? Like,
why
are they there?
They were just looking for Seth.
Right, but gotta say you're being charged
that's what I'm
with
saying.
XYZ.
No, nothing. We literally, it was just like, come outside. And they had a warrant. So, they literally just rushed the crib. Like, when I'm literally walking out, I'm not even poking my head out the door. I'm telling them, I'm like, I got my kids in my hand. I got my daughter in my hand. I got my son with me. Like, that was my main concern, was the safety of the kids. Because I didn't know what they were doing.
Right, of course.
And I don't trust these people. I don't like them.
You never trust them, of course.
No, I definitely don't like them. And whatever. So the moment I come outside, I'm literally right in front of the stairs. So they literally walk me down the other side of the stairs. And I was like, that's weird. But when I go downstairs, it's like two big trucks filled with people.
With like cops?
With officers, yeah. So it was like feds and Miami-Dade working together or whatever. And
this is like, what, FBI?
Yeah. FBI. And when I realized, I have my daughter, I don't even know what's going on. I just see so many police and so many trucks and cars. And but now when they, I'm like, let me get a diaper for my baby. Like, let me, so they walk me up the stairs to go grab that. And when I'm walking up the stairs, I see my downstairs neighbor is also getting raided. I'm like, what? is going on? So I don't know. At that moment, I was like, I don't even know what the hell is happening. Oh, I have no idea. I was so shocked. I was so
Are
like,
they in your house, like searching through stuff?
oh,
at
what?
that
They
point?
were fucking shit up. They were breaking doors. They broke everything. They broke shit. You know how, I mean, whatever. When they do that, they come in and they throw everything. That's normal. But you could have just
Just search,
grabbed the knob, asshole. Left me with a big old bill. But, you know, super unnecessary.
So the FBI is tearing apart your house. You have no idea why they're there.
Yep.
You have no idea what they're looking for.
Yep.
They have Seth in handcuffs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they separated you from Seth, so you can't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It sounds like the feds, though.
I mean,
How long does that whole thing
all
last?
freaking day.
All night?
All freaking day. That was like 6 a.m. It didn't stop till like, I don't know, 2, 3 in the afternoon
Wow.
outside
That's nuts.
holding my baby. They let me come upstairs to, you know, grab a bottle of milk or something, but I literally held her for hours. At the end, I was like, can I get a stroller? Can I get my stroller? Like, can we, like, and right at that moment, you know, that's when the feds came to try to ask, like, the guy was like, you know, try to read my Miranda, and I'm like, am I arrested? Am I under arrest? And he was like, no, we gotta read this to you. And I'm like, for what? Like, it was just all, you know, tactics that they use to try to get people to speak to them. And I was like, okay. I'm like, and he's like, I forgot what it was that he asked me. He said some shit like, do you have drugs? And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, like, are you serious right now? I mean, I have my weed, but you know what I mean? Like, he's thinking there's like big drugs. And I'm like, this is such a flop. Like, this entire, like, you guys just really fucked up. Cause like, what do you, and the crazy thing is that fast forward, it's all about my downstairs neighbor. And we took it, you know, at first we weren't sure what was going on, because like, if you're really investigating him, you would have known he doesn't live with me.
Right.
So you could have gone anywhere else. And I just felt like my kid, like, he's 13 at the time. And I'm just like, that's a terrible age for a kid to go through a raid. You know what I mean? It's a very, you know, it's a very, it's an age, you know,
Right.
that you want to stay away from stuff like that. But, yeah, I was very shocked. It turns out, so at first we're like, you know, I don't have the discovery. We don't have nothing yet. We don't know what's going on.
Do they take Seth that day?
Yeah.
So
They took both people that were there. So Seth and our other friend. But
you still don't know why they took him, though?
mm-mm.
That's crazy. Does he get bond?
No, he never got bond.
That's
He
wild.
never got bond. But so that, I mean, I have my gun, clearly. You know what I mean? I have my gun license. It's my house. And I had personal things going on, and you know, that's another reason why he wasn't staying with me. And you know, there's a lot going on for me in my life, you know, apart from Seth. But yeah, so just because there was a gun there, that's what they put on him. And if you think about it, like, they came for the downstairs neighbor. They went to raid her house. And it turns out that in this bunch of apartments, somebody was, like, I guess trying to holler at the Secret Service girl that was undercover, and they had their operation outside. And I don't know, one thing to another. I know Seth was coming home that day, or like he was waiting for a client to come, because he like did personal training. So he was on the stairs, and literally, like, the only thing that they did was they went to the office and they ran back the tape and they asked who that was or what apartment he was affiliated with, you know, and then that's how they came. Because they wanted, but it was like it was literally malicious, you know what I'm saying, like abuse of power, because their operation downstairs got kind of, you know, kind of had a spotlight on it, because now, you know, there's a lot of cars, there's movements, you know what I mean? But like, I guess the people.
Did you ever find out what that whole operation downstairs was about?
Yeah, so the girl that lived downstairs, super sweet, young girls, you know, it was like 2 girls that were roommates, super, you know, young girls, really cool. Those like, you know, I was definitely cool with them. So one of the girls, her boyfriend lived in a separate house, but he had gotten arrested for some type of like fraud operation or whatever.
The feds arrested him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why the Secret Service
Was there?
girl was, you know, doing her recon or whatever. But so it turns out that he got arrested for some fraud stuff or whatever, and she was on the phone with him on the wall phone, FDC, and she's telling him, "Baby, don't worry, all your stuff is safe and sound," and she's telling him, "Your clothes." Because what happens when a man goes to jail? Your cousins come take your shit. Everybody comes to take your clothes. 100%. So she's literally telling her man, like, babe, don't worry, I got all your stuff. It's good. So the feds are like, oh, we got him. You seen Drewski when Drewski's like, got him. That's exactly how it was. So then they came. They did all this thing, all this, you know what I'm saying, this sting operation outside. And, you know, in the process of trying to raid the girl downstairs is when somebody sees this girl walking around in shorts and is trying to, I guess, holler at her or something. But, you know, it pissed the cop off. Dude, when you see the videos, like later on, when I see the discovery, I'm like, there's so many people in this. There's so many apartments. There's so many people. And this was like one of those apartment complexes that people are just everywhere all the time. You know what I mean? Like if you see an officer, you don't know who it's for because there's people outside all the time. Right. And I guess somebody was like trying to like mag it to the girl, and they just... They literally saw Seth on the stairs and kind of like just tied both apartments, you know what I mean? Like, or just trying to, I don't know what they were doing, but we were definitely like, what is going on?
That's interesting because typically if it's a fraud operation, there's not much to raid. Like they have all the proof and then they just come. I mean, I got arrested for fraud.
Yeah, and so but they're still trying to come for the little girl downstairs. Like these kids are young, you know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying like why search? That's stupid in a fraud case because there's nothing to search. They do their whole. I'm proving your point.
No, you're right.
Like you already have all the paper. It's a paper trail. You have bank accounts. Yep. You have all that shit. Yep. Because what am I gonna have in my house?
It turns out those guys had like they had like something going on. They had like
unless they had a ton of money.
They had air tags on what was called an arrow key. I don't even know what the hell that was. I guess post offices have like specific keys.
Okay.
For like things, those guys had like it was like when I read everything,
like
I was
intricate,
like, I'm like, okay, these motherfuckers are, you know, they're like definitely on their way to get caught. Okay, that's normal. But I just wasn't even sure like why. So, you know, at the end we're like, they're talking about you have they just brought him in because I had a gun. And he was a felon.
Right.
My gun was like stashed, and whatever. It just turned out to be like this one big shit show. And from the gun, now I have a little weed in the house. So the whole time we're like, you know, they're talking about you had 133 grams, 166 grams. There were so many inconsistencies with the lab.
The amount of marijuana.
With the amount of marijuana. Yeah, so we're like, what the hell? Every document has a different amount on it, and the search warrant was like, I don't even. Search warrant stuff is still mind-boggling, but whatever. And yeah, so at the end he took it to trial. He decided to take it to trial, and when we get to trial, it's 57 grams. Of marijuana. It's a little over, 2 ounces.
The feds charged him with 57 grams of marijuana and possession of a gun.
And it's crazy because the attorney that we had at the time was like, he's like, if you really look at this, like if it was a state case, this would
have gotten tossed out.
It would have gotten thrown out.
The only reason it stuck is because it was the feds.
He literally said it. He's like, marijuana is legal in like, I don't even know how many, 48 states or something like that. I don't know 100%. What it was. So he definitely raised that.
You would have taken that to trial. It wouldn't have made it to trial in this state. It would have gotten tossed out. It would have been a joke.
Right.
They would have laughed him out of the courtroom.
Right. But it was still Schedule 1? Or is it not?
Oh, it's before Trump did the change?
Before the change. So it's funny. Like, one thing that this will definitely teach you.
The feds pick and choose, like, their battles,
Correct.
When it's convenient for them and when it serves their purpose, it's a Schedule 1 drug. but when they don't get, they don't care. Like I remember, I'm friends with a retired DA agent. His name's Rafa Conde. He was on my podcast, and he was like, I was trying to get, because in my head, I'm not a drug dealer, right? So
Right.
it's the first time I get to talk to a DEA agent. So I'm like, look, be real with me. Like, what kind of weight does someone have to have for the DEA to be like, all right, let's take this case? He's like, well, no, if it's cocaine, if it you're like a kilo, half a key, that's it, you're done. He's like, oh, weed, you need like 500 pounds. And I'm like,
So
that's not true,
yeah.
right? Like, I think they just pick and choose when it's convenient and when they feel like it, and when they don't, they play that gray area.
Yeah. So the head FBI dude on the case was definitely upset, that the recon work out there got fucked up
And
for whatever reason, and it showed from the beginning to the end.
Right.
It's just you it's good to know your laws, right? It's good to educate yourself and know what it is. But if you're thinking you can't get hit with a trafficking because you don't have 500 pounds or, 50 plants or whatever it is that it says in there, they will make it whatever they want it to be, really. Because you could have a little bit of weed, and if you have a scale,
that's it.
If you have a
You're hit.
a leftover baggie from
Paraphernalia.
that you probably put your old, your half blunt in just so it's like smell proof or whatever, like just a baggie and a scale. That's it. Because like if you buy you buy weed.
So what charges at trial? Once this became a trial, what charges he was facing? A 924C.
922G.
We got possession of a gun.
Yeah. Right. And then it was the 924C,
which is possession of a gun with intention of distribution of drugs.
Furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. Mm-hmm. And then it was I forgot what the weed is. Possession with intent, I believe it was.
Okay, so leading up to the trial, like what's the lawyer telling you? What do you like? What's the like? Tell me.
I mean,
this is the first time I think, besides Jason, you met. No, you haven't met Jason. Jason's my close friend. He's one of like 2 or 3 people that I know that have gone to trial against the feds.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So it was just so we had one attorney at first. And he was just really messy. And so he ended up getting some money, but we ended up firing him. And he was just all over the place. You know what I mean? And he was just like, oh, I know the judge's niece, and, we can. And I'm like, bro, like, what are we even here for? Like, it's not, you know what I mean? I get it. It's who you know sometimes, but her niece, like, that shit don't even sound right. Like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know her. You know what I mean? Like the judge, like whatever. And whatever. So he was just, how lawyers are. There's a lot of good ones, but he was definitely just like inflando. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was just talking a whole lot, but there was no real
concrete plan.
Yeah, because what's this even about? You know what I mean? And then we got another lawyer after that. But there's just so many new laws and so many things coming out, that have come to light, with just brewing, like Second Amendment and things like that. Like if the Constitution is the supreme law, then everything else is just some made up law after that.
Right.
And it works for them, but it takes. They could get away with it for a while, but it takes everything comes to an end. You know what I mean? So now it's coming to light that, you know what I mean, you're disarming people. You're disarming people because they have been in prison for more than a year, or you know what I mean? Like the moment you become a felon. And that goes against the Constitution. So, Seth is very smart. So he was definitely trying to put in motions and things for whatever his arguments were. And the attorney didn't want to put it in. He was so old. Or not that he's so old. He's a good dude. I actually like him. But, he was definitely a different era, and it's just like, he's like, there's no fucking way. It's like, you think they're going to give felons their gun rights? He's like, you're fucking crazy. It's like New York, Jew. And yeah, he's funny. He really is. He's a gangster. But, you gotta, things happen. Things change. You know what I mean? So whatever, I know that had he taken a plea, at least with the fact that he argued those things with emotion, he would have been able to appeal.
Yeah, but
because of that, you know what I mean?
What the fuck are you gonna take a plea for? This is like,
no. What I'm saying,
I feel the same way you guys do. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
What did you guys do?
Like, and his mom was like, take the plea, and family just always wants the best for you, and thinking that you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I get it, but if he didn't do anything.
That's what his argument was.
Like, the fuck did I do?
Yeah, that was his argument. He's like, what? He's like, taking a plea means I'm guilty. He's like, what the fuck did I, like, what did I do? So, it was just very, it was, but what he was saying is, like, even if they would have come with a plea, I could have appealed it had I submitted, motions for certain things. But he's like,
did they ever come with an offer?
They came with an offer of 12.
12 years.
Yep. They came with an offer of 12.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. For some weed in 2025 or whatever. So, that was interesting. And the attorney was like, 12 doesn't sound so bad. I'm like, well, I mean,
12
when
years
you have a kid.
12 years for doing nothing?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. So, obviously, you guys don't take it.
We don't take it. We don't take it. We actually just wait a little bit, and we start seeing another inconsistency. So at first, around that time was when we got the other. We changed prosecutors a bunch of times too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with them.
I know. The case was bullshit, and they didn't want it. There was a hot potato, and they were like, bro, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And they gave it to somebody else.
Excuse me. So, yeah, definitely was a bunch of different prosecutors. So towards the end, we got this other girl, and she was just terrible. I hate her. Sorry. So she's the one that comes with like another, paper, whatever, plea, whatever it was. And all of a sudden now she's like, no, we actually weighed certain things. She's like, we weighed things, and we, it turns out that it was not 133 grams, it was 166. So I'm like,
bro.
Now all of a sudden it's a different weight, and another eye opener for us, because we were just very much like, we don't know, like clearly there's some real
nefarious stuff going on,
some real weird stuff happening, and yeah, so shortly after it was like, you either take it or whatever, and we're like, well, let's go to trial. And then at the end she brought on another prosecutor to help her.
How'd you guys feel going into trial?
That was fucking terrible. It was terrible for me. I can't even imagine being the one
going to trial.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel like you had a shot at winning? Or did you feel like you were going to trial because you didn't have a choice?
I feel like there was really no wiggle room anyway. Like, you're going to give somebody that much time for some weed was kind of weird, And it was kind of unjust. And it was like, I lay down and die, or I fucking, I fight. So definitely was different.
Did these issues get brought up by your lawyer during the trial about the search warrant and all that stuff?
No. I feel like the attorneys work with, I mean, they do. They do. You know what I mean? They do. Yeah. But it becomes like
an inside job.
Well, I feel like it becomes like a thing where like you're the only person who's really in people out is Brian Steele, because he's getting his money on the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but don't tell Jason that. Jason's attorney was Brian Steele.
Who's Jason? Oh yeah, he
My
was.
friend Jason. Yeah.
Get out.
Brian,
Jason's paid.
Brian Steele screwed him.
Huh?
Screwed him royally. You have no idea. It's crazy. Brian Steele only turns it up when the cameras are on. Like on Diddy's case, he turned up. He did his job.
I mean, remember, I don't know who Jason is for real, but
he's
if you have
you'll meet him eventually.
if you have I guess if you're in the limelight, you're an artist, you're a rapper.
Nah,
then
but
maybe
he wasn't. But he was a huge case in the pill mill thing.
Yeah.
He was like the biggest pill mill guy in the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, I'm saying like maybe he only turns up for
the
big
camera,
names
100%.
because clearly
He got Diddy's RICO charges dropped, like, for real. I mean, there was no RICO in that case regardless, but Brian Steele did his thing for real.
Yeah.
In that case, like,
Brian Steele is he's definitely it's not like all these attorneys are smart, they know their stuff, It's just are you really trying to get somebody home, or are you just it's because what is trial? If you ask yourself, what is trial? Trial is a stage with a bunch of actors.
Yep. And whoever tells the best story wins. Yep.
That's it.
Pretty much.
That's it.
All right. So you're the only person I think I've ever interviewed that's taken the stand at trial, which is very unique. Tell me about when you decided you were going to do that and like everything that went into it and your mindset and kind of the whole experience.
Oh my God. I just felt really guilty,
Why? You didn't do anything?
No, but I definitely like you're in my house, you know what I mean? So everything that's there, is everything you're being charged with is because you were in my house, and not just that, like the kids, there was a lot going on, and I just found it so unjust and so messed up that, I mean, you gotta be a bold motherfucker to wake up in the morning and go to work, and your job is to, tear down other people's homes. And I'd get it if, not even I get it because, I'm never gonna like it, but I would understand, because it's part of it. If you're, got a big operation or whatever going on, you know what I mean? Like his stuff in 2015, like, okay, I get it. He was outside, he did his time, but that man was, just really out the way, and a little bit of weed, a little bit of my personal stash. He doesn't even smoke. He doesn't even smoke.
Terrible.
He doesn't even smoke weed. So definitely seeing, that, taking the kids into consideration, and then just seeing how messed up it all is, you know what I mean, and how dirty they play and the things that they do, and it's definitely crazy. Did I want to take the stand? A part of me did, because I mean the attorney actually was like, we're trying to game plan, like, what are we doing? And the attorney was not prepared to go to trial. He did not want to go to trial. He said it from the beginning. He's like, this motherfucker sounds like he's gonna want to go to trial. He's like, I'm not trying to go to trial. Like, we need to, and I'm like, okay, well, figure this out.
That's every attorney.
You know what I mean?
None of them
of
wanna go to
course.
trial.
The prosecutor didn't want to go to trial.
Of course they don't.
She was so nervous. So nervous. I mean, we all were, but it was like really.
So what was the prosecutor's argument in the trial? Like, what were they?
Oh my God, they brought up like the stupidest stuff. And honestly, you know what? I respect anybody who's gone to trial. Like it was crazy for me, as a witness. It also sucked because I couldn't be there for the entirety of the trial. But for the person who's sitting there, you know what I mean, like risking whatever it is to try to have some type of justice, because if you're taking it to trial, you're really, you know what I mean, like you're not okay with taking a plea for something, and just being okay with taking responsibility for some shit that they just made up, so it's kind of hard. But whoever's gone to trial is definitely a very strong person, and I know it's gotta be terribly nerve-wracking. So I definitely take my hat off to anybody who's gone to trial. But he was definitely the attorney was trying to make something happen, you know. And it was like a, let's just go to trial and just that's it, because you know we don't have any answers with the labs. We don't have any answers with what the actual weight is. We don't have any answers with why they were coming, why they even came for me. We don't even know why they came for me. And then now fast forward, we're in trial, and they literally say it in trial that they weren't investigating him. So you weren't investigating him. So you got mad that your operation downstairs was like, so this is like, and it's just all signs point to that. But I will tell you, going to trial maybe 10, 15 years ago was probably a better option, because I just feel like people today, like, I don't think people like, nobody wants to be in jury duty. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to go to jury duty. Like, nobody, I don't think people really even care. You know, you're forced to go. I don't know. Do they pay people for that?
Yeah, but it's like $15
pennies,
a day. Yeah. Nothing.
So, I just remember the only part that I could reflect on is the part that I was there, which sucks. Because, you know, you're...
Right, so you were taking a stand. You were only allowed to go to the court.
I wasn't allowed to hear anything or know anything about the case until
the day you
walked in. You know what I mean?
So tell me, you're on the stand, right? Though they swear you in, all that shit. What does the prosecutor start asking?
I want to say we started with the defense attorney.
Okay.
I want to say that's how we started. I can't remember.
What was he trying to prove with you? That, like, it was your gun, your weed?
Well, he was just pretty much, like, painting a picture, like, how long have you known this person, and, what is it, and, and maybe so for the jury, for them to, get a better understanding. But it's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into trial that's you don't have the upper hand at all. Like, even if you make a really good argument, the defense attorney makes a really good argument, you still like, picking your jury is huge. And I feel like people are just, as the years go by, people are just so much more programs with, just their zombie, life, Instagram, whatever, that they're not really invested in the I remember sitting there and talking, and they tell you to look at the jury when you're speaking. Like, he can ask me a question, but I'm supposed to look at you guys and tell you. And I saw one juror that was just like, I was like, this is crazy. This is so bad. And yeah, it went from. I mean, there was a lot of good points that he had, but I also feel like you don't have the upper hand ever, because even in closing arguments, like, the government does their closing argument, then the defense does their closing argument, but then the government gets to go again. So whatever good shit your attorney just said to try to get you out of that jam, like, they get to go again and go try to sway the jury again with whatever you said that was really, really good. They're gonna go and paint it to be something else.
Were you allowed to be in the courtroom the day they gave the verdict?
Yeah. So we were all there, the whole family. And they go through the counts, and it's crazy, because it's like, what evidence did you hear? It was a week-long trial. And it was just a whole bunch of government officials on the stand, just saying whatever. There was one guy that was like I had like some weed, like my grinder, like my weed broken up, and one guy was like, I don't remember if he was FBI or what he was. I can't remember. I think it was ATF, and he's literally telling the jury, no, because people buy weed broken down. And I'm like, I swear that was everybody's reaction. Who buys weed, grinds it up? Like, so it was just crazy. the whole process. I can't even. And like I said, the only thing this shit teaches you is that it's good to know your laws, but it doesn't really matter. If they want to, they'll figure it out.
So you're there for the verdict. What? Tell me what happens.
I mean, it just was what it was, you know. The jury comes back and, you know, count 1, whatever, and we find the defendant guilty. Count 2, find him guilty. Count 3, guilty. And we're just like, his mom like let out this gasp of a mother. And that was tough. Like I'm pretty sure everyone can still hear that. It was hard.
How much time did he get?
So he ends up getting 360 months.
That's 30 years for whoever doesn't know how to do that.
There's another 5, but it's in there somewhere concurrent. It's concurrent, right? When you run it together. So it's 35, but yeah, 30 years for 57 grams of marijuana. And you know, whatever their made up enhancements, their made up stuff. And it's just crazy. Like, you know, if you tell me you saw him outside, you know, waving around a gun and a bag of weed, then all right. But like, this is literally personal head stash. You know what I mean? And so yeah, definitely.
I have a very personal experience with the federal government, and my case is very different from Seth's. But I'm just as familiar with the feds as Seth is, and I've seen many people like him that are in situations they don't deserve to be in.
It's tough.
And it tests your faith. No, I'll tell you that much. I had many situations when I was out on bond and fighting my case and all this stuff where it was like, bro, what the fuck are these people talking? And mind you, I was guilty, right? Like, I'm not one of those guys who's gonna tell you I didn't do shit. No, I stole a whole bunch of money and I had a whole lot of fun, right? What I did was illegal as fuck.
Hey.
But you hear them talk about me and I'm like this criminal mastermind.
Oh.
You know? I'm like this mafia white collar boss.
I'm surprised you got a bond because
No, the only reason I got it was because I was a first time offender.
Oh, okay.
Probably, first time offender. I'm young. I've never been in trouble. But
no, they made Seth sound like a real like a murderer. They made him sound devil. And like
it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard.
Him, yeah,
it's crazy. So, you know, I've never met Seth, but
they let off. I'm not to cut you off, but they let off people all the time for much more.
Oh yeah,
much more. Like, I've seen it.
Yeah, because it serves their purpose.
Yeah.
If so, you could be a small time kid that's never been in trouble, and in the state, that kind of the coherent thing is to be like, this guy's never been in trouble, give him a break. And the feds don't give a fuck about none of that. They catch you. It is what it is, and you're going down. They have this whole mentality that just makes no sense. Yet, if they catch a big dog, if he's winning a rat and give me a politician or give me a big time drug dealer or give me someone who's like bigger than him, we'll help him out. And it's like,
so the attorney was definitely telling me he had a case. I think he had a little like cold feet a little bit about going to trial because of the FBI agent, because he was involved. He represented someone in another case, and it was the same agent. And he told me that dude has gotten, like, a case was dismissed because he got caught lying. There was another case, the case that the attorney was talking about. The FBI agent was involved in some other case that he put evidence in places and did certain things.
But wouldn't you want to go to trial because of that? Because he's been proven to be not trustworthy?
I think the attorney realized that there's more power, on their end. And, it was going to be too hard because they will figure it out. And
I don't know. I think they are powerful and they do have resources, but like they're also sloppy and they're also lazy. That's
exactly what I mean. Like, there was a lot of things that happened that were very Sloppy.
Right.
Sloppy. Just the reason that we even got there to begin with. Like, what?
So, I mean, I've never met Seth, but I feel like I know him just because I've read his case a million times, and
You've been helping me. Thank you. You've definitely
welcome.
helped us. We did
comes from the heart.
we did a couple things for him.
Yeah, his if anybody deserves that clemency, it's definitely him for sure.
What? Like
Yeah.
he's definitely the one that he's definitely one of those people. Like if I'm sitting in an office reading clemencies all day, like he's gonna get it
For sure.
God willing, you know what I mean. But he's definitely deserving because this case is crazy, and 30 years
and then he ends up in coma medium, which is like, bro, I didn't do anything and I'm in a fucking medium, bro. Don't even anyway.
No, and I've heard the medium coma medium is definitely
no, almost any medium really. It's
well,
you know.
Yeah, I've people from Coleman have definitely told me that it's operating like a pen.
Yeah.
Coleman's wide open. Yeah.
Vivian, thank you for coming on my podcast. Thank you for telling me. Of course, it took some effort, but we got it done. I feel very accomplished.
Long time coming. Yes.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
got it.
I
was like 2 hours late.
Sorry. Better late than never.
That's okay.
We usually wrap up asking the same few questions, but I usually interview criminals. So I guess in your case, I'll tweak it a little bit. First question: what's next for you?
What's next for me? We have a lot of different things going on. So there is a website right now being created for peptides and different health things, different things for like joints and workout and supplements. And then we also have another platform that we've joined forces with someone very close, very dear to us, family. And it's becoming like an ex-con to icon is what it's looking like. The name is. And it's literally a platform that will help people learn from mentorship. So they have like millionaires teaching just regular people how to trade, how to understand trading. You have trainings every week. And
the gentleman I'm assuming that's putting this together is an ex-con? No.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool.
Yes.
That's
so
really
we're
cool.
doing that. Seth, everybody.
That's awesome. Okay. How do you hope to be remembered?
I hope to be remembered as a woman with a lot of class and grace, and just the way that I treat people, and the way that I am with people. Anything else is just how you live, and yeah, that's all part of it. But definitely remember me for being a good woman.
When I think of you, I think of a strong will. You have a will to admire.
Definitely strong. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, definitely want to be remembered for something other than normal things that happen in life. You know what I mean? Or like whatever you've lived or whatever you've come from. But definitely just being a good person. No matter what you had to go through, you kind of you figured it out.
Do you believe in redemption?
Elaborate.
So redemption in the sense of
definitely.
Yeah. So there's many different versions of it, but the
That's why I'm asking.
version of redemption I'm referring to is someone who has done something abhorrent, embarrassing, out of line, almost borderline unacceptable in some cases, but manages to find a way to become a better person and come back from it.
I think there's always a chance for redemption, but it's very tailored. So everyone is different. A chomo can't get no fucking redemption. Like
there's a line. Like, there's a line of no. There's a point of no return for
correct,
sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody has a chance for redemption in someone else's eyes. You know what I mean? It just depends on who's.
I usually ask if you think you've redeemed yourself, because I'm usually talking to some sort of reformed criminal.
Right.
Do you feel the need for redemption in your life at all?
I don't know. Maybe like a part of me, like, being humble would say yes, of course. I'm sure there's aspects that would need some redemption, but at the same time, I feel that I've always showed up for for what's right, and yeah, I think a part of me doesn't, so I guess it just depends. But definitely there's probably some parts of me. Yeah.
Vivian, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
me.
it. How can people connect with you?
They don't.
Come on, bro. You have Instagram?
I do. My Instagram is I think it's _VIIVIIAN.
I'll put it in the...
Yeah. A couple underscores in the back.
It's definitely not boring.
Hard to find.
To follow you.
It's not boring to follow me at all.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. So definitely follow for the icon to icon and the website for the peptides. Cool. Well, that's all coming real soon.
Alrighty, guys. That was another episode of Honor Among Thieves with your special guest, Vivian. As always, push it to the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. And we will catch you on the next one. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
FBI, open up! The FBI storming a Miami house and taking a man into custody.
So say goodnight to the bad guy.
The agency says the 28-year-old was picked up